morning, Sergeants. My name is Specialist London. I will be giving a course on how to measure a distance on a map using a scale. In this course, the risk assessment is overall low. If you feel like you are falling asleep, stand up so that you become alert. That way you do not hit your head on the desk and get a concussion. We will be demonstrating this task in accordance with the task number 071-Charlie Oscar Mike -1008. In accordance with STP 21-1-SMCT. Okay, so there are three measures you will be graded on. One is identifying the scale. The second would be determining the distance on a straight line distance, and determining the distance on a curved line distance. Okay, so first we will determine the scale, which I will place here. As you can see on this scale, you have this points here from 0 all the way to 5. That is your primary scale. From 0 to 1,000 meters, that is now your extended scale. Each tick mark here is 100 meters, and each tick mark here is 1,000 kilometers. Okay, any questions? All right, moving on to the next part. All right, so the next part here, as you can see, we have our supplies, which is a map, a pencil, and a straight edge sheet of paper. We'll now be determining our start and our end point. So we'll make a mark here. We'll make a mark here. This will be our straight line distance, okay? So you'll mark it SP for start point and EP for end point. You'll now take your straight edge sheet of paper and you will make a tick mark at your start point and a tick mark at your end point. You will then move it down to your scale, starting at the 0 and going in the direction of the primary scale. You will make a tick mark at the last point here. So this is a 3, but your end point is after the 3. So this distance in between the last full 1,000 kilometers and here at your actual end point will now be measured on the extended scale. This here is 2 tick marks, so that is 200 meters to give you a distance of 3,200 kilometers. Okay, any questions on how we got that distance? Okay, so now we are gonna go with a curved line distance. This distance you will use, for instance, if you need to find a distance that's along a stream, a road, or any curve whatsoever. Okay, so our start point will be here, our end point will be here. Okay, so now when determining a curved line, you will have multiple tick marks. Okay, so what will happen is you'll start like you would normally, and you'll make a tick mark. You'll make a tick mark at your start point. This will be SP, and then you'll make a tick mark once the paper no longer aligns with your direction, and then you will turn the paper until it meets again to be straight, and you'll make a tick mark there, and then you'll continue to do this. So you'll turn it again until it's straight again and make another tick mark, and then you'll turn again and make another tick mark. And then you'll turn it this way to get to your endpoint here. There we go. Okay, so with this here, now that we have our multiple markers, there we go. We'll now take this to the scale once again. And you will take it, do the same process. So since these distances here are shorter than 1,000 kilometers, what we'll do is be using the extended scale. So you'll mark it from 0 and you'll go backwards. So this distance would be 200 meters. 1, 2. Then you'll take the next distance. This one is, hold on 1 second. Oop, as you were. This is actually gonna be 300 meters. The next distance is 300 meters. 1, 2, 3. White, black, white. Then you'll do this again with the next one, which is a little bit further. But as you can see for this one, this is only 1 out. So we know that this is 900 meters. And then we'll do the next one, which is 800 meters. And then the end point is more, this point to this point is more than 1,000. So we'll make a tick mark here, and that'll be 1,000. And then we'll measure the distance in between here, which will be 100. So with all of these different marks here, you will now begin to add them together. So 3 and 3 is 6. 6 9 is 15. That's 1,500. Plus 8. Oh, that's 1,600. Plus the, so 1,600. Plus 1,000. 26. So we'll add 2,600 and 800. 6 is 12, 13, 14, carry the 1. So this distance is a total of 3,400 kilometers. Does anyone have any questions? Yes, so what you would do, that's a good question, is you would mark every time that the route you are going leaves this straight edge sheet of paper. So you align the straight edge along with your route. Every time that route leaves the edge of the paper, you will now adjust your paper and then make a tick mark. So good question on getting the curve distance. So now I will give you guys some time to practice, and then I will be walking around to make sure that you guys are doing it to standard, and then I will give you 3 questions or 3 scenarios in which you will find a start point and end point, measure the distance of a straight line and a curved line, and then from there you'll be evaluated at the end of this course. At the end of this course, it is required to get a go. If you do not get a go, then you will be retrained and reevaluated to move on. Okay? Any last minute questions before we get started? No? Okay. This is the time that you will get to practice. If you have any questions, let me know. Okay. So for everyone that has passed, right now we have a total of 25 first-time goes. You guys can now go into the next course. With the 5 remaining, we will now retrain on curved line distances, which, as I said, you will adjust your paper and make tick marks every single time, and then measure it accordingly and add it together. Now, if you have a distance that is closer to, say you have a distance that is 2,000 and change kilometers, but the kilometers is closer to 3,000, then you will then subtract the distance. Or you can continue and just measure it and add it.